Well, this is my attempt at making a wall art gallery of Carter's artwork.
This is our son, Carter.
Say hi!
Wave to the camera.
My baby.
What do you got here? Who are you?
So we're the Snaps. I'm the Satch.
I'm Nick.
And we are do-it-yourself doers. It probably cut your head off the whole time, babe.
Really?
Yeah, all I see is your nose.
Oh, that's not good.
I'm gonna do that again.
Okay, let's do it.
The foyer, we don't use it. It's usually empty, and so I decided to maximize the space and allow it to be somewhat of a play area for Carter and the second baby. The top half will be his artwork, and the bottom will be a chalkboard. Chalkboard paint. Pick it up at any Home Depot, Lowe's. It was pretty easy to put on. Just rolled it on. 2 coats, sat overnight, and I think it'll be ready for him to begin using tomorrow. I've already painted, so this line is supposed to represent where the trim goes. I wanted to trim here and separate the 2 parts. And then we just have to put the frames up, and then we'll be done. I want the trim, the top of the trim to line up with where this brown line starts, all the way across.
So the first thing I'm going to do is measure and see how long the trim's got to be. So that's what I'm going to do now. We're looking at 67 inches. I'm going to go ahead and cut this, and I'll be back. After you cut the wood, the first thing you got to do is find the studs. And you do that with a simple stud finder you can pick up at Home Depot for like 10 bucks. Find that stud. There's the first alarm, so make a little mark there. What I would do is come the other way to get the other side of the stud.
And there it is. Mark out the rest of them.
So you've got a total of 4 studs on the wall. Let's hang it up. Alright, so here's the trim. I've got specific instructions to make sure this lines up evenly with this stripe. First things first, you want to check level. I remember when I did the stripes here on this wall, I was pretty careful about making sure it's level, so this thing lines up with that pretty good. It is actually pretty level. That's good to go. All we gotta do is nail it in. There it is. Whatever I use is called a nail set.
Your nails aren't sticking out anymore, but what about your holes? If you're painting your wood, you can use simple wood filler. This one's by Elmer's, Carpenter's Wood Filler. If you're using stained wood, however, you want to use a stainable wood putty. Just find a wood putty that matches your wood and you're on your way. Here's a few examples for Minwax. We have ebony and walnut. Simple as that.
First thing you gotta do actually is to cut this little tip off. So I'm gonna do that now and fill it up. Cut off the tip. Take a little bit of this, squeeze it on your finger, probably about the size of about 1/8 of an inch diameter, and then just shove it in that little hole that you made. Go ahead and jam it past the surface of the trim and shove as much putty in there as you can. Make sure there's no indentations. You want to come back and you're going to sand that. So even if it's a little bit lumpy when you put it in there, all that'll sand nice and smooth. So we have this arch, and we want to replicate this arch because we're going to hang frames in it. And the frames need to be the same size and center and distance from each part of this arch so that everything looks the way we want it to look. So here's what we did. Armed with a magical decorating eye, Naz first laid out the frames the way she wanted them. I then came in and went on measurement duty, measuring each one of the frames exactly how she wanted, so I knew she'd like them. It took a little bit of time, but I wanted to make sure I got it right. You can see I'm taking some notes, and like a good geek, I put together this handy reference chart that shows every single dimension from when I start hanging. One thing that's tricky with frames is that each frame has the hanger in a different location. So what I'm going to do is go over here and kind of measure where in reference to this frame I might have to put the nail. This one is right here by the top of the frame. The nail's going to sit about 1/2 inch from the top of the frame. And you also got to figure out how far it is from the ends. 8 inches. This one has two hangers. Okay, you get the idea. Measure the rest of the hangers and get on with your day.
Nick filled the holes, and I've since sanded and repainted, touched up the trim. I also touched up some of the baseboards on the bottom as well. And so at this point, the paint's all done, and he's taken all the necessary measurements to actually nail up all the frames. So I'll leave it to him to get to work.
Okay, got my notes. Took all these dimensions off those frames on the floor in painstaking detail because I know my wife loves to have things a certain way. So what I'm doing is going to put out the little plan here, put my nails where they need to be, and paint the frames. Get started. I'm using 4D finished nails. The professional carpenter type, or at least the people that think they are, call these 4-penny nails. Not sure why, they just do. I'm calling them 4D because that's what it says in the box. Cool. So, let's get started. First one was 9.5 inches from the corner, and let's see, 1/2 inch from the top of where the two corners meet. This goes right in the drywall. I'm not going to bore you with the details. One more frame. This is it. Checking my sketch. Look at the numbers. Make this thing happen. Marking the spot in accordance with my dimensions. Should be it. There it is. Only thing missing is something right here. Hopefully it'll be something super special. That's pretty much all I got. Here's the creativity. We're out.
Action!
Oh, excuse me, hold on. Take 200.
That's fast.
You ready? Well, I'm asking you if you're ready, yeah. Your nails aren't sticking out anymore, but what about your holes? If you're using paintable wood,
You're painting your wood.
Okay.
Welcome to Carter's Wall Gallery and personal chocolate.
Very personal.
Yeah, we have filled it in with all his artwork. Obviously, this wasn't his artwork, but we'll make it what we think it was. The S stands for Snap, for our last name, and I am having him create something very special, something probably welcome, or I don't know, just something that's singular. Welcome to my life with allergies. Cookies are calling me anyway. Bye!
All right, Prayed and Let It Go.
That's it for the Snap Show!
You see the socks? It's awesome.
Oh, I'm a bit delusional, tired, I'm swollen, and my cookies are calling again.
I'm gonna go ahead and cut this, and I'll be back.
The other thing is, yes. So I'll leave it to him to get to work.
That first one was good, right?